Well, here we are out in Orenco, Oregon, and it looks like I found something else to drag home to the beetle barn. It's not a beetle, but sometimes you got to get them when they're hot, so to speak, when it's time to get them. This guy was headed for scrap, and it doesn't need to go to scrap. It's a 1970 Impala. And this quarter has been done. Full quarter here up underneath the vinyl roof. So this quarter is pretty nice. The doors, it was the start of a paint job, and then there was a falling out between the painter and the owner. Anyway, so it's been sitting here for about 5 years back in the berries with a tarp over it. Anyway, all the bits come with it, the glass, all the chrome. We got bumpers here. Interior is well, it is what it is. We'll see. Anyway, it's got some on the other side. It's got a little bit of rust around here. It's not gone, but it's starting to come through, so I'm hoping I can patch it. The shape is right. And a little bit down here in the corner. Other than that, the only holes or anything I've seen in it is back here under the vinyl. Somebody's cut that out, looks like. And then down here in the corner of the windowsill a little bit. But anyway, price is right. And probably got it for less than scrap price. So now I gotta come up with a tow company to get her home. 350, so 352 barrel with 350 automatic, and yeah, Chevrolet. Only Chevys I've ever owned are my Corvairs. So this will be a new thing. But we're fixing to find a way to get it home now. So we'll take a better look when we get her home. Well, we're on our way home here, so there it is. And anyway, we'll see how it all works out. He doesn't know where he's going. I got to get in front of him at some point so he can follow me, but we're on our way. Well, it's Saturday out here at the beetle barn, and sometimes I just wonder, what do I do? Anyway, yeah, it's been dragged home, and now I own a Chevy. First Chevrolet that I've ever owned. Got a couple Corvairs, but most people say they don't count. And guess I got to learn how to deal with the Chevy rust. Actually, this fender here is been tagged up front there by the headlight, and it's pretty bent. And I kind of think I'm going to look for some fenders for this guy rather than try and fix that. We'll see. I'll see how available they are. It's got rust down below, and then the crunch up here. The hood had been replaced. It's got a couple bubbles right here, so that'll have to get fixed. And this fender over here is pretty straight, but it does have the same issue down there on the back of it. One thing I did find, though, I've been up and down these rockers, and they're solid. And there doesn't appear to be any mud in them. At least the tap method, I can't feel any mud in them. Have to wait and see. This quarter that had been replaced, they just lapped it up here at the top and put it on. And then this is a vinyl top car, so the vinyl top and the trim and stuff kind of hid all that apparently, but I may have to work that differently. But yeah, they put this quarter on, and it's got little rust back there already, and there's a bunch of mud and crap here, and I don't know what that's all about. Like somebody was trying to fix something up here. It's probably a hack and pack, I don't know, but I'll take some of that off and see what's under there. I don't want to put quarters on this. I'll put patches. That's the plan anyway. This car, basically what I want to do is get it up into running, driving, you know, quote, condition. Not even painted necessarily, maybe primer. You know, fix the rust and everything and the fenders and put it back together, and then get rid of it. You know, I don't want it. It is a two-door, which is actually the only reason I was interested at all when I heard it was, you know, buy it or it's going to scrap kind of a deal. I've been looking and pondering and pulling some of the tape nobody took off it back when they tried to paint it or started painting it. That crap stuck, and then they used some kind of cloth tape here which is really stuck and it's trying to pull the rubber off, so I got to figure out a way to get that off of there without wrecking the rubber. But being as this is such a big car, it's not a little Volkswagen, I can't just push it around. It's been sitting, tags on it are 04, and I think that's when he took it apart and parked it in the yard. Anyway, I've checked, it's got, you know, good oil in it, looks clean, like it's, you know, was changed not too long before they quit running it. Radiator's full of antifreeze, so there's no holes in the block. And anyway, fuel line is off the pump here and just kind of hanging, or off the feed. So I was gonna maybe stick that line down in a can of gas and throw a battery in this and see if I can get it to light up. If it runs and drives, it'll be a whole bunch easier to move around here. It's got power steering, which is a real pain to turn when it ain't running. So in order to move this around and kind of keep it out of my way until I decide exactly what I'm going to do with it, I should probably make it run and drive. Anyway, I guess I'll throw a battery in this and a can of gas on the ground and see if maybe I can get it to light up. We'll have to wait and see. If nothing else, it'll be good entertainment. So, well, I threw the old standby battery in here, and of course it doesn't fit. This is a Chevrolet. There is no such animal around here, but turned it sideways there and managed to reach the positive up where it belongs. It's not tightened down. And then the negative will fit here. So I'll go ahead and get that hooked up. I guess you can see my little gas tank there. It's got a pretty small orifice. It's a lawnmower tank. I managed to get the hose clamped down onto it there, running down to the pump. So we'll see if it works. It ought to be enough to bring it, at least let it idle. And I can idle it around the yard if I need to. We'll see how it all works out. One of my videos, there was someone who had commented they didn't like the way I was doing something and was questioning how long I have been a mechanic. And I guess I need to say I'm not a mechanic. And I never have been. Mechanically inclined, yeah. Figure it all out as I go. I've never had to pay a mechanic to fix anything. So, you know, I do alright. But anyway, no, I'm not a mechanic, and, you know, I'm just doing what I'm doing. And you can like it or not, gets me by. So, anyway, that's for that guy. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get this battery hooked up and give it a little either go juice or something. See if I can prime it up a little bit and see if it'll bark for me. It's got an old Mallory dual point distributor in it. It's got new exhaust from the manifolds all the way back. It looks to be, it's a single exhaust, but it's like 2.5 inch. It's nice. Anyway, it's a little 2-barrel 350, so that single exhaust ought to do fine. Anyway, if I can get this to start up, run, and hopefully there's brakes, I'll have to figure that out. Maybe I can, you know, move it around the yard rather than pushing it. I can just start it up and move it. So we'll set you up over here and let you watch me struggle. Okay, I got you propped up on a fence post here, and I guess I put the ground on there on the battery. It's just pushed down tight, not tightened in case I got to get it off in a hurry. Anyway, so I guess first thing to do is see if it'll turn over, and then we'll throw some fuel and see how it works. It's over, so I'll give it a little bit of go juice, and we'll see if we can get it to bark here. Give it a tiny splash. The little tank I put in here is above the fuel pump, so I should prime that fuel pump pretty well. So if this battery will hold in there and crank a little bit, it might start, I think. We'll see. Well, we got fuel there. So we got fuel, maybe we haven't got spark. I'll try it again. Well, being as I'm not a mechanic and I don't know anything, I'm in a quandary here. Basically, I bumped it around till I got my timing mark up here on my balancer down there, and the rotor was in the relative position of where number 1 wire is. That distributor was not tightened down, so it was able to move. Anyway, so I didn't, I decided, okay, let's check something out, and so I went ahead and put used my meter, and as I rotated the distributor around and I was measuring the voltage at the condenser side of my coil, the voltage never dropped out. So my assumption is the points are either dirty, screwed up, or something, because that's basically static timing. Just quick down and dirty. I set the mark at 0, made sure my piston was up top, and figured I'd just static time it to get it running, and then throw my timing light on it and dwell meter and whatnot. But in fact, kind of think there's no dwell, so I got to pop the top off that cover there and try and figure out these Mallory dual point deals. If I wish I had a Chevy around here, I'd just yank the distributor out of it and throw it in here and see if I could make it run. But anyway, so I guess I'm going to play with that, and I'll come back if I'm successful. If not, then this video is all a waste of time. So anyway, I guess I have to be one with the project here. Anyway, I'm in here on these points. I got the one on the left there all the way up on the lobe. Whoop, back them out. And I'm not seeing a whole bunch of gap there. So I kind of think these things aren't opening. I'm going to go ahead and give them a little bit of a gap. And then I've got the crank here up at about a ½ degree advanced. Anyway, and then I'm going to try to static time this, just kind of, and then tighten the distributor down a little bit, and see if I can get it to fire up for me. And then I'll get the dwell meter out and re-gap as needed here. I'm not 100% sure how these work. I talked to somebody who said that according to the book, the total on this 350 ought to be between 28 and 30, give or take, dwell. And so that's between the two sets of points there. The one on the left is in advance of the other one, so I guess I give, a little over half of it to the first set and the rest of it to the other set. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I got to see what we've got and see if I can get this thing to run. One set of those points looked like they were closed, and so I gapped them a little bit. Anyway, so we'll see what's going on here now. I got my dwell meter hooked up. Supposedly I'm able to check my dwell with it just cranking, so we'll see. But anyway. Started. I have to figure that business out. Not timed right, so let's see. I'll set it up one way just a tiny bit. I got this tightened down pretty tight now, so I can barely move it. I'll move it a little bit towards the advance and see if that helps it. If not, we'll go the other way. If I can get it to run, I can get my light on it. That's interesting. Kind of runs. Yeah, give it. Tiny bit more that way, see if that helps it. Burning some oil and crap off of it for sure. Don't know. If I get it to keep running, then I can at least get a timing light on it and see if I can get it to idle. It may not idle because of that carb. Yeah, it's not been running a long time, so we'll have to see how that will. Well, it's running at least on half a dozen. I don't know. It's you can hear that. Got some popping and stuff. Anyway, I'll have to go through it and see what all's there, but it starts up and it'll run so I can move it around. I gotta get some brakes, but I guess I can use the parking brake temporarily. Anyway, that's what we got for now. I'll do some reading and some learning and see what's up, but you know, I'm pretty much done with this thing for today. Got it home, got it started. Yeah, so I can move it around. At least I think the tranny works. It used to. It ought to still. Still burning off a bunch of oil and crap from days gone by. So we'll see how all that is. Probably burning off a bunch of leaves and crap too. So this side over here is slowed down on its smoking. But anyway, that's it for today. It does have a new exhaust on it. Single exhaust, 2.5 inch all the way back. And for a little 350 Chevy, she sounds pretty good for a single exhaust. Other than the missing it's got. So anyway, here we go. $350. Well, I went ahead and backed the idle off here, and this is what we got now. Anyway, it doesn't sound that terrible. This engine's like 175,000, which is pretty good for an old V8. Yeah, so ought to work pretty well for get it around the yard and hopefully down the road. So anyway, she's not running too bad considering. Well, it's Saturday evening now out here, Beetle Barn. I did a little weed whacking around to clear a spot, and there she sits. One of these cars is not like the others. But anyway, drove there under its own power. Power steering works good. Brakes, I had to throw some fluid at it, and when I pump them, they hold. They don't bleed down, so they probably just need to be bled out. We'll see. They'll be gone through before it goes down the road, but to drive it around here, all I gotta do is pump them once or twice, and then they work fine. So there she sits. Ain't it ugly? Thanks for watching.